hard living in this place, man. It's very difficult. It's a place for brain chemical addicts where they have the mechanisms to hold us all hostage with fear of a violent death, you know. And it's pretty shitty. Yeah, the thing is, you shouldn't be in fear of a violent death. Well, because it's over. It's over. The thing that more people fear is a long, drawn out pain. You know, the little French lady on the TED, when the guy told her about with Zeke, the final breath, it was hard on Zeke. Zeke wouldn't have lived in as much of toxic conditions and had to suffer so greatly in his death if it hadn't been for the scientists studying me. If they'd moved me for the thing and we could have gave him things that cleaned out his system and detoxed him, he wouldn't have been agitated by the Roundup and the other stuff that they're doing here to, see how compassionate I am. I'm like, yeah. And you pick up your poor dog and kiss him and tell him that, Emily loves you, Kate loves you, Natty loves you, Noah loves you, That's the best you can do, is just let the spirit of the dog know that, you're loved. And, you've been coddled and put in the house and had air conditioning and griped if you're out on the patio. Daddy's spoiled. Yeah, he was spoiled. But, yeah, he's a good dog. He was a brat, but he was a good dog. Yeah, he was in very difficult conditions. He was being studied, like a lab rat, being, keeping company with one of the best men in the history of the world and being treated like shit because one of the best men in the history of the world was being treated like shit. And still am, You don't have somebody like King David get up and do the right thing and restore the teachings of Jesus and Muhammad and then act like he doesn't exist and then try to torture him to death. So he says, oh, I was unsuccessful. I didn't do it. It's like, Muhammad wasn't successful and didn't do it worldwide. Jesus didn't, One day the entire world will submit to the faith of Jesus Christ. So why would you sit there and think that, I would sit there and think I was unsuccessful? People pray like Muhammad so we can all live the love of Jesus Christ. People pray to Jesus as God because of you rackadoodles. Instead of say, hey, help me be strong so we can all live the peace that you taught us, So, we could hold Jesus. He's the best, man. He's a real helpful dude. He's the best. He's the best. And when he tells me stuff, people is like, no, you don't tell. Yeah, we do. I had that one lady who worked at the bank and service. You don't tell people. You don't give them the keys to the house and stuff like that. Yes, you do. There is no lock on the door. Heaven has no lock on the door. Heaven is submitting to faith in the glory of God and faithfully loving each other. You don't lock people out and say, you don't get to come in and love. You lock the door to protect your baby from being murdered like people like Hitler and the Gestapo and the SS. But locking the door is not going to help. If you're in the middle of Nazi Germany and you lock yourself in your house, you're going to die eventually. They're going to blow it up. Okay, so violent death, boom. Okay, life is eternal, grace is infinite. Just keep teaching, right? And I'm watching the tennis match between Miss Sun and Miss Raducanu. And, it's the thing, the little Raducanu girl gets injuries because it's excessive compulsive behavior. She got to win, stay on top, make lots of money. If you rested when you need to, Buddhist thinking, eat, when you're hungry, eat, when you're thirsty, drink, when you're tired, rest, right? You care, share, give in accordance to need, build to last, and the relationships need to be healthy, But if you have people fighting for lots of money to be the top tennis player in the world, the one who's the most capable of being aggressive, that old Bobby Schuller next door talking about how Goliath was the underdog in the story and telling us stories about studies of giants and stuff and how giants have these health issues and CW and all this stuff. And he's explaining it, trying to get you to feel sorry for Goliath. So don't feel sorry for Goliath. Goliath was an asshole, like Stephen Hawking, was responsible for his genetic conditions through tribalism and violent sex cult behaviors. And then David told him, hey, I'd rather have you as an ally and help make your life better through faithful love. And Goliath said, fuck you, I can kick your ass and fuck your mom and your sister and your fiance and kill you and cut off all your family's nuts. So you don't sit there and say, oh, Goliath was the underdog. Goliath was an asshole. David wasn't. There is no underdog. There's no winner or loser. There's no over-under. There's no betting odds, the odds to win the Super Bowl, odds to win. That doesn't happen in Solomon's Israel. Assholes. Okay. You're assholes. Dad told me this morning when I was talking about some of the stuff, he goes, be kind, don't call them assholes. I was like, you can't not call him. It was Jesus who told me. Okay. He's the one when I was being Pollyanna, and I'm like, oh, they're just being abused. He goes, Earl, they sent you to the dump on your grandmother's funeral to throw all the stuff away. Okay. They have become just like Rockefeller and his, and the thing about it is, Joseph's family. Okay. Yeah, but they were afraid of the big bullies that had people that they talked into magic Valhalla gods that they thought they could do it and they could get away with it and yada, yada, yada. And then the family all reacted to it and said, let's just give in to it. Okay? And then one guy, Joseph, has to get up and say, no, it's wrong. Daniel with with Nebuchadnezzar, one guy has to get up and say, it's wrong. The shining eternal example of this is wrong. We know what is right. And you can't debate truth. You can't debate right and wrong. You can't sit there and say, we promise we'll stop having sex with Tracy Morgan and the rest of the guys on the cheerleading squad of Mean Machine by 2050. Okay, you can't do, when you know it's wrong, you do right. Okay? Forgive, debt, and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Okay, and you go back to life is eternal, grace is infinite, care, share, given according to need, build to last. Okay, build lasting relationships through faithful love. Okay, it's wrong for this little girl, she had surgery on this, she had surgery on that, because she's supposed to be a professional tennis player. And the king and all I see when I see all the assholes on these World Cup things, okay, is Don King with Mel Pattern Baldus. His name is William, okay? The other guys, the Turkish guys, any of the mega moguls in the crowd. There's Don King in a different disguise. And Mr. Hughes and Dylan Shoes wearing his disguise. And it's all right now. Learn my lesson well. Can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. You went to a garden party. If you have to play a garden party, wish you a lot of luck. But if memories for these murderers is all I sing, I'd rather drive a truck. Do you understand? That's what he meant. As Mr. Howard Hughes, richest guy in the world, was there, hanging out with you're hanging out with the biggest mass murderers that perform the mechanization for genocidal operations to maintain the status quo. Okay? I hate mansions. When I see Loki's character coming down with the table to take the guy's eye out for that propaganda movie and stuff, I hate places like that. I like quaint, quiet little adobe homes that have family memories of people that tried to love one another in this hell and make sense of it, so we don't have to do The Bachelorette and The Bachelor anymore, because you guys are idiots. See, it's a bunch of supermodels trying to make their way in Andy Warholism. They're assholes, I tried with Alex Rodriguez. I tried with Jennifer Lopez. I tried with Ben Affleck. I've tried with everybody. I've put my feelers out to everyone. Come on, guys, let's forgive debt and trespass. And they don't, okay? They're addicted. They're addicts. That still doesn't mean that you sit there and go, oh, well, I'm an addict too, so I understand. There's no step program to truth, okay? Once you understand you're a murdering liar, you stop. You can't love your children if you don't stop, okay? Chewy's here. Oh, fuck, seriously? Okay. You do things right, and you're doing things right. If you need something out of the exception of the rule, if you want clam chowder, go move to New England. Okay, here we have lots of chorizo, and our cuisine fits what we grow here. Okay, If you want the exception and you want the consistent exception, go live somewhere else. If you really dig clam chowder in the ocean, go live in New England or Newfoundland. Okay? If you like chorizo and, Omar Barker, and, then live in the desert. Me, I'm going to live in the mountains. Okay? In a high desert, near above the high doors, in the Rocky Mountain region somewhere. And I'll be happy. And I'll be calm and I'll be cool. When I'm cleaning this mess up, there's a bug on their camera. It's a spider, I think. But I love you guys, but we'll get back to work. And don't worry, just relax. I've got this.